Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for a glimpse into the future?
Always ready.
Well, today we're diving deep.
Ooh, deep dive. I like it.
Yeah, into the World Economic Forum's Top 10 Emerging Technologies of 2024 report.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, this stuff isn't just for tech geeks.
Right,
These technologies could actually change how we live and work
for sure.
and even how we deal with some of the big global problems,
Yeah, big problems need big solutions.
Exactly. We've got AI that's revolutionizing science, walls that can make your Wi-Fi
Okay.
better.
Walls that boost Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's wild. So,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
yeah, buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride. Okay, let's start with something we all use every day.
Oh, let me guess. Smartphones.
Close. Connectivity.
Okay, so internet, Wi-Fi, all that.
Exactly. And the report's really focused on how we can make all that more sustainable.
Sustainable connectivity, huh? That's smart.
Yeah, it's not just about faster internet.
Right, it's got to be responsible too.
Exactly. One of the things they talk about is reconfigurable intelligent surfaces, or RIS.
Enough right, I guess. What's that?
Imagine if, your walls could make your Wi-Fi signal stronger.
No more dead zones. I'm listening.
No more dead zones. It uses these special materials and algorithms to basically turn any surface.
Wait, so like any surface?
Yeah, like a wall or a ceiling
Wow.
into a signal booster.
So instead of like buying a new router or something?
Exactly. Less e-waste.
Right, more sustainable.
But wouldn't that be, super complicated to set up?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It sounds pretty complex.
Well, the technology is definitely complex, but it's not just about home Wi-Fi.
Okay, so what else could it be used for?
Think about, smart factories, right?
Where reliable communication is really important.
It's super important, yeah, for safety and efficiency,
Hmm.
or even self-driving cars that need a constant connection.
Right. Everything's connected these days.
RIS could help make those networks way more reliable.
Interesting. So RIS is all about making what we have work better.
Right, but what about those people who don't have internet access at all?
Yeah, that's a huge issue.
Huge. Well, the report talks about something called high-altitude platform stations, or HAPS.
Hey, PS, what are those?
Basically, internet delivered by balloons and airships.
Internet from the sky. Sounds like something out of a movie.
I know, right? But seriously, for those 2.6 billion people without internet.
That's a lot of people.
It is, yeah. This could be, life-changing. Think about the impact on education,
Absolutely.
healthcare, economic opportunities.
Yeah, it could really level the playing field.
It would bridge that digital divide.
Yeah.
So we've got smarter existing networks and internet from balloons.
That's pretty futuristic.
It does. Any other cool connectivity ideas out there?
Well, there's integrated sensing and communication, or ISEC.
Ah, yes. Okay. What's that?
So it's like a single system that can gather data and transmit it at the same time.
So a multitasker in the tech world.
Exactly. Think about it like this smart agriculture. You could have sensors in the field.
Oh, I see. Monitoring soil moisture, weather.
All that, yeah. And then that data goes straight to the farmers so they can make better decisions.
Makes sense. More efficient farming.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But that's not all.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah. ISAC could also, revolutionize environmental monitoring.
Uh-huh.
We could keep a closer eye on air quality, water
To
quality.
keep things clean.
Yep. And even make our energy grid smarter.
Okay, so smarter networks, connected farms, cleaner environment. It all sounds great.
And it's all about creating a more connected and sustainable world.
That's the goal. Okay, we've talked about boosting our Wi-Fi, connecting the unconnected. What about AI? It's everywhere these days.
Oh, yeah. AI is a game changer. And this report dives into how it's, changing scientific discovery.
Right. It's not just writing poems anymore.
No, it's helping scientists make real breakthroughs. One example is DeepMind's AlphaFold.
AlphaFold, I've heard of that. What does it do again?
It's AI system that can, predict the 3D structure of proteins.
So it's figuring out the building blocks of life.
Exactly. And that's a huge deal for developing new drugs and therapies.
Wow. It's like unlocking the secrets of life.
It is. And it could even help us create better batteries.
Okay, so AI is helping us understand life itself and powering up our devices.
Very impressive, right?
Yeah, it is. Does the report talk about any other ways AI is impacting science?
It does. One of the big challenges with AI is that it needs a ton of data to learn.
Right. Tons and tons of data.
And in fields like healthcare, a lot of that data is, sensitive and confidential.
Yeah, you can't just share people's medical records.
Exactly. So that's where synthetic data comes in.
Synthetic data, what is that?
It's basically data that's been created by AI to be like real data, but without any of the personal information.
So it's like a stand-in for the real data?
Yeah, you can use it to train AI models without risking anyone's privacy.
That's a smart solution.
Yeah.
So AI is helping us understand the building blocks of life and making it easier to share scientific knowledge. What's next?
Well, let's step away from the digital world for a minute and talk about something a little more, concrete. Construction.
Okay, construction. What's high-tech about that?
Well, the report talks about how immersive technology,
Immersive technology meaning like virtual reality.
VR, yeah, and augmented reality,
Yeah.
they're being used to make construction more sustainable and efficient.
That's interesting. But you still need materials to build things, right?
Of course. But it's about how we design and build those things.
Hmm.
One of the big things they highlight is the use of digital twins.
Digital twins. What are those?
Basically, a virtual version of a real building.
So you can see how it'll look before you build it.
Exactly. You can test different designs, see how they impact energy efficiency.
Oh, that's smart. Save energy and materials.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And the report also mentions that VR can be used to train workers.
Oh, that's cool. Like a virtual construction site?
Yeah, exactly. And even facilitate global collaboration.
Wow. So we're making the whole process smarter and more sustainable.
That's the goal.
Okay, so smarter buildings and a more connected world. I'm loving this glimpse into the future.
Me too. But we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, right? This report is packed with fascinating stuff.
It is. And the next part, we're going to dive into some even more incredible technologies that are tackling climate change head on.
Heat pumps inspired by mussels and microbes that eat carbon emissions? Sign me up.
I knew you'd be interested. See you in part 2.
Okay, so we're back and ready to dive into those climate-fighting technologies we were talking about.
Ready to be amazed?
Well, I'm ready to be amazed. Let's talk about those heat pumps that act like mussels. It's called electrocalorics, right?
Yeah, elastocalorics. It's a pretty new field, but it could change how we heat and cool our buildings. Basically, it uses materials like nickel and titanium that generate heat when they're stretched or compressed.
Wait, so you're saying squeezing these materials makes them hot?
It sounds weird, I know, but is how those materials react to stress at a molecular level. You apply force, their structure changes, and boom, heat.
Okay, so it's not just squeezing and releasing. There's some serious science going on there. But why is this better than the heating and cooling systems we use now?
Well, elasticaloric heat pumps are way more energy efficient.
More efficient. That's always good.
Yeah, and they don't use those refrigerant gases that are bad for the environment, the ones that contribute to climate change.
So greener and more efficient. No wonder the U.S. Department of Energy is interested in this.
Oh yeah, they see it as a key part of fighting climate change, especially with all the demand for air conditioning as the planet gets warmer.
Makes sense.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on to another climate solution, microbes. I never thought I'd be excited about microbes, but this report is changing my mind.
Microbes are amazing. They're tiny but mighty. And with microbial carbon capture, we can use them to clean up our act, literally.
I'm picturing little Pac-Man microbes gobbling up all the pollution. How does it work?
Well, there are a couple of ways. Some microbes, like cyanobacteria, they use photosynthesis to absorb carbon dioxide, just like plants.
So they're like tiny trees cleaning the air.
Exactly. And then that CO2 gets converted into biomass, which we can use for other things.
Okay, so that's one way. What's the other?
There are also microbes that don't use photosynthesis. They get energy from renewable sources,
Yeah.
like hydrogen or even waste products.
And they use that energy to capture CO2.
Yep. So we're turning pollution into a resource.
That's amazing. What kind of resources can these microbes create?
Oh, all sorts. Biofuels, animal feed, even bioplastics.
So they're helping us fight climate change, A&D, create useful stuff. It's a win-win.
Exactly. It's still early days for this technology, but it has huge potential.
Okay, so we've got high-tech heat pumps and pollution-eating microbes. What else is on the horizon for sustainability?
Well, let's talk about animal agriculture. It's a big contributor to climate change, but the report suggests some ways to make it more sustainable.
Okay, like what?
One of the key things is using alternative livestock feeds. So instead of feeding animals things like soy, which can be bad for the environment.
Right, because of deforestation and all that.
Exactly. We can use things like single-cell proteins.
Single-cell proteins. That sounds futuristic.
It's basically microbes that are grown for their protein content.
Microbes again. They really are the superheroes of sustainability.
I know, right? They can do it all. And algae is another good option.
Algae, like the stuff in the ocean.
Yep. It grows really fast, doesn't need much land, and we can even use salt water to grow it.
Interesting. So we're finding ways to feed animals without putting more strain on the planet.
Exactly. And these alternative feeds can also reduce the greenhouse gases from livestock.
So, healthier animals, healthier planet.
It's a win-win.
This report is full of surprises. I'm really impressed by all these innovations, but let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future of healthcare. The report mentions something about using genomics to revolutionize organ transplants. What's that all about?
Well, there's a huge shortage of organs for transplants. Millions of people are waiting, and many die before they get one.
It's a sad reality, yeah.
Well, with gene editing tools like CRISPR, scientists are figuring out how to engineer organs.
So you're saying we could grow new organs in a lab?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still early, but the report highlights a recent success where a genetically engineered organ was transplanted into a human.
Wow, that's incredible. That could really change everything. No more waiting lists.
That's the goal. Of course, there are ethical and technical challenges to figure out, but this is a huge step forward for regenerative medicine.
It sounds like it. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Sustainable connectivity, AI-powered science, climate-fighting microbes, and even genetically engineered organs. It's mind-blowing.
It's definitely a lot to take in, but it's also incredibly exciting. The future is full of possibilities.
It is. And in part 3, we're going to step back and look at the big picture. What are the key takeaways from all this? What does it all mean for us? All right, so we've explored some pretty amazing emerging technologies, from Wi-Fi boosting walls to microbes that eat pollution. The future is shaping up to be pretty incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we use it to create a better world.
Right. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the World Economic Forum's top 10 emerging technologies, what are the key takeaways? What should our listeners be thinking about as we move forward into this, rapidly changing world?
Well, for me, it's the sheer scale of innovation that's happening across so many different fields. We're not just talking about incremental changes anymore,
Yeah.
but about fundamental shifts that could completely reshape how we live and work.
I agree. And it's not just about cool gadgets and futuristic concepts. It's about solving real world problems like climate change, improving healthcare, making our food systems more sustainable. These are challenges that affect everyone.
Absolutely. And it's inspiring to see how people are using technology to find solutions to these challenges.
Yeah.
There's a real sense of urgency and a collective desire to make a positive impact.
It feels like we're at a turning point. We have the knowledge, the tools, the will to create a better future, but it's not going to happen on its own, is it?
Right. Technology is just a tool. Like any tool, it can be used for good or bad. It's up to us to make sure these technologies are developed and used responsibly,
Yeah.
that we think about the ethical implications.
It's not just about embracing the next big thing without question. We need to be thoughtful, have those difficult conversations, consider the potential consequences.
Exactly. And that's where you, our listeners, come in. We've given you a glimpse of what the future could hold. But ultimately, it's up to all of us to shape that future.
So what excites you most about these technologies? What concerns do you have? How do you think they'll impact your life, your community, the world?
These are important questions to ask ourselves. And we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought, some inspiration to get involved and make a difference.
We're living in an amazing time, full of challenges, yes, but also full of opportunities. The future is being written right now, and we all have a part to play in shaping it.
So stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged. The future is waiting.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the future. We'll see you next time for another deep dive.